So, you know, we're recording just for the record for yourselves. It's not to be shared with anyone. This is purely for your own use and for notes and follow-up. I see Yusuf and Tatiana have also joined. Welcome. A reminder to choose the interpretation channel of your choice.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Tatiana. Lovely to see you again.
Excuse me, Tatiana doesn't hear me, so probably she hasn't chosen the interpretation.
Yeah, Tatiana, choose the language channel.
Hola Tati, abre tu micrófono, porfa, querida.
No aparece la sala
I don't
del
see
traductor.
the
Anda a mostrar
translator.
andate a...
You have to
hay
choose
un circulito
an
que aparece
option that
ES.
seems a circle.
No, no
Actually, you
aparece.
can see it.
O hay
No,
un
I don't
mundo,
see it.
una bola que
Is there a
aparece como un
globe?
mundo, andate ahí. Y ahí te
You
da las
have to
opciones.
select that globe.
Hi, Nilam. Good evening.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. I have a question. What do you mean by join the language channel?
So you'll see there's a little globe at the end of on your Zoom screen where you see there's like the audio, the chat, and so on. There should be a little globe. And if you click on it, it will give you the opportunity to choose a language. In this case, English, Ukrainian, or Spanish. And you need to choose English if you're speaking English. If you're
An
speaking...
interpretation, you mean? Oh, okay, I found it. Thank you.
Okay. Grace, Michael, Nilam, over to you. I think we've got most people, I think.
Okay. Creo que ya estamos todos y
Okay.
todas.
I think that we are here, all of
Perfecto.
us. That's perfect.
Me encanta tenerlos a todos y
I
todas en
love
este
to
espacio.
have all of you here in
No se
this
imaginarán
session.
pues la alegría para el
And you don't
consejo
imagine
de por fin
how
lograr
thrilled
tenerlos a
I
todos aquí
am
en
to
el
finally
espacio
have you
reunido
all
después de
here
todo este camino que hemos
after
recorrido.
all this path that we have walked together.
Entonces, me gustaría que ustedes se
And
unieran
I
a esta
would like
alegría,
also
¿sí?
to be
Y que
thrilled as I
ahí en
am.
el chat
And
manden
in the chat, please,
algún
let's use
sticker de
it.
cómo se sienten hoy.
Let's write
Bien
down
sea
a message of
sí,
how
una
you are
carita
feeling
feliz,
out.
sí,
Maybe
así
you
que
can use
démonos
an emoticon
esas
or a
felicitaciones
sign,
por haber
something.
pasado el
Let's
filtro y
congratulate
por
each
estar hoy
other
aquí todos
for
reunidos
passing through the
y iniciando
filter,
este
for
camino.
being here, and
Así que esa
start this
primera,
new way, this new path.
demos ese primer salto.
Okay, let's start by doing
Hoy
that.
tenemos una agenda que
And
no va a ser una
today
agenda
we
muy
have
formal, sino que va
an
a ser una
agenda
agenda
that is not
donde
totally
vamos
formal,
a conocernos,
but
vamos a
instead is an
compartir entre
agenda in
nosotros,
which we're
¿sí?
going to share one to another.
Vamos a presentarnos
We
los
are
miembros
going
que
to
hacemos
introduce
parte
ourselves as
del
members
consejo
of
desde
this
ya hace años.
council, and we are
Grace,
going to start with the
Ruth,
ones who have been
Elvis
part of
y
it
mi persona
from
y
years
Nilan,
ago.
que venimos
Grace, Ruth,
trabajando
Elvis,
arduamente
Nila, myself,
en lo que les vamos
and
a
we
presentar
had
durante todo el
been
transcurso
here,
de
and we
estas
are
2 horas
going to
en la agenda aquí
present
que vamos a
what we
presentar.
have
Grace, ¿me ayudas,
in
porfa,
this time.
compartiendo la agenda,
Grace,
el
please,
orden del
would
día?
you share with us what is coming in the agenda?
Sure, I would. Hi, all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from everywhere. My name is Grace Njeri. I have met part of you in the interview process, but a majority of you wasn't able to be part of the interview session. So I'm also thrilled to have you all in today's meeting and excited for this meeting. So Lawrence, do you want to help us sharing, or do I go ahead and share from my end?
I can share whatever makes sense for you, Grace. Do you want me to share?
Yes, please.
Okay, then bear with me
Okay.
as I do this.
Yeah, so as Florence is sharing, I did share the agenda with all of us, and today's meeting is just for us to get to know each other, and get started, get to understand the councils, and also to respond to some of the questions that you might be having about the council that were not able to be responded to through your interviews. So yes, on to the next slide is an outline of our agenda. Yes. So today we're going to do introductions, get to know each other, and then have a brief overview of the history of the council and where we are as of now, then go through the TOR, then respond to the questions that all of you might be having. Yes, so that is what is in our agenda today. And yeah, we are hoping to be here for the meeting for the next 2 hours. So we ask of your participation and yeah, lively engagement. So Michael, I hand it over to you for the next slide for a round of introductions.
Perfecto, perfecto.
Perfect.
Gracias, Grace, por
Thank you.
por
Thank
la
you,
introducción a
Grace,
la agenda.
for
Y
this
como dije al
introduction.
principio, esto va a ser un
And as I said
espacio
at the beginning,
donde
this
no vamos a hacer
session
preguntas difíciles, no
will
vamos a
not consist
interrogar,
of
solamente vamos
asking
a
you
conocernos, ¿sí? Entre
tough
todos.
questions. No, it is not
Entonces les
about that. It's
planteo
about meeting each other.
la siguiente actividad.
And we will
Vamos a
tell you
iniciar
what we're going to do now.
presentándonos por la
And
casa.
let's
Vamos a
start by
empezar
introducing
presentándonos
ourselves.
el grupo que hace
The
parte de la
ones who were
coordinación
previously part of the
en esta
council
fase del
will
consejo en que ha
start.
venido
And in
trabajando
this phase, we
eh,
have worked
en esta etapa
all together.
y posterior,
And after
digamos de
we
manera
finish,
voluntaria, ¿sí? Cada uno
I don't want to
puede empezar
appoint by names, but you can
a decir
start
un
by
elemento,
the new
¿sí?
members can start,
del
and you will
exterior, ¿sí?
say an
del mundo con el
element.
que se
You will
identifique.
mention
¿sí?
an
Eso
element
puede
of the
ser un árbol,
universe
puede
you
ser un
identify
animal,
yourself. It could
puede
be
ser
an
el agua,
animal,
etcétera.
it
Cualquier
could be an
elemento,
element
¿sí?
like
Y
water,
cómo ese elemento
anything,
se
anyhow
relaciona con
that
su
element is
personalidad o
related
su
with your
carácter de manera muy
personality.
rápida. Su nombre,
You are
ese
going
elemento o
to
cosa
say
y
your
por qué ese
name,
elemento
that
se
element, and
relaciona
how that
con la
element
persona
is
que lo eligió,
related
¿sí?
with who you are.
Entonces,
Okay?
todos comprenden cuál va a ser la
Do you
actividad
get what I
para
want you to
presentarse,
do?
¿sí?
Is that clear?
Háganme así si es
Just
ok
make me
y
that
avanzamos.
sign
Bien,
just to
perfecto.
show that you get
Entonces,
what
para
I'm
romper el
saying,
hielo,
okay?
voy a iniciar de
And
hoy,
as an
¿sí?
icebreaker, I'm going to
Después ya
begin, okay?
entramos más
Then
de manera más profunda
I
a
want
conocernos, pero
to
esta es la primera.
go deeper
Bueno, yo
to
soy
meet each
Michael
other. And
Londoño,
my name is
soy de
Michael
Colombia
Londoño. I am
y
from
vivo en una
Colombia,
ciudad de Colombia que
and
se
I
llama Cali.
am living
Y
in a
esta ciudad
city
es
called
conocida
Cali.
mundialmente
And this
porque
city
son
is
campeones mundiales en bailar
known around
salsa,
the world
¿sí?
because we are
Son muy buenos en
world
salsa,
champions
¿sí?
in dancing
Dance
salsa.
y
We are the
en los
best.
deportes,
And
entre muchas
also,
cosas más.
we
Después van a ir
know
conociendo
a
un
lot
poco
of
más de
things,
eso.
but we are good
Eh,
sport
yo me
people,
identifico con el
and I
jaguar,
identify myself
porque el
with the
jaguar es
jaguar.
el protector de
Why?
las almas.
Because it is protector
Y mi
of
llamado, mi
souls.
propósito y mi
And my
sentido de vida,
call, my purpose,
desde hace muchos
my
años,
purpose every day
lo identifiqué en el trabajo que
has
hago desde la
been that
asociación en
I
Colombia en la red.
work
Y
since
por
my
eso me identifico mucho
association
con el
in the
jaguar.
network,
¿Sí?
protecting people.
Entonces,
That's how I
Grace,
identify myself with the
Dylan,
jaguar.
Ruth,
Now,
Elvis,
Grace,
les
Dylan,
toca.
Ruth, Elvis, it's your time.
Thank you, Michael. I'm trying to think that you had a better hand in terms of thinking on the animal you identify yourself with. But anyways, yes, as I mentioned, my name is Grace Njeri. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, representing the East African region, and I'm delighted to be part of this meeting. In terms of the animal I identify myself with, I'd say it's dolphin. Most
Un
likely
animal o una cosa, no tiene que ser un animal, querida.
It can
Puede
be
ser
an
un
animal
árbol, una
or a
planta,
thing. It
una
can be
flor,
a
Okay.
cualquier
plant, a
cosa
tree,
Okay.
or
que te
whatever you
identifique a
want, okay?
Mhm,
Anything that you feel identified with.
Okay, yeah, I'll still go ahead and say a dolphin. And the reason is because I think they're friendly to humans, and there's some dolphins that can actually speak, it's said, that can speak human language. So that's the animal I normally identify myself with. And because of their friendly nature, some dolphins have a friendly nature to people. And yeah, thank you. Over to the rest of the team.
All right, let me do next. My name's Phong. I'm from Vietnam and I'm represent for the Southeast Asian regions together with one Calipers member from Cambodia. And talking about my spirit animal, I would say I always consider myself as an earthworm because an earthworm, they work really diligent on the land, right? Making flower and trees blossom. So as a teacher, I really pay attention and very detailed for a lesson plan because I want to nurture the next generation of marginalized group of students can be well equipped for their future through the quality educations. And beside that, the meaning of an earthworm also represents the resilience and the endurance. So with the collective leadership from these councils, all of the members, I can be more resilient for my journeys. So thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Ruth Washuka and I am joining from Nairobi, Kenya. I am truly delighted to be part of this meeting. I am a representative alongside Grace, of the East African region. It does feel like it's such a dream come true, sorry, but I'm quite excited really that this has finally, the day has arrived to just literally see all of you after a lot of work. I identify as an eagle or a bird, and I will say because eagles and birds have a lot of energy, but at the same time, they also keep stopping. I know people close to me, Grace would say that I am known to hibernate, and I will be the eagle that has to stop in another tree to just rest. Not that because I cannot fly anymore, but it's just my way of regaining strength and, I can keep flying. So yes, welcome and really looking forward to what we can share together. And congratulations to all the new members.
Hello to you all. I am Bangoa Elvis Mboa, joining you from Buea, Cameroon, and I represent Western Central Africa. So I share with Ruth to say it's such an amazing experience and actually a dream come true. And what particularly strikes me is the interest in being part of a group with so much diversity now, because I know there's always a lot to gain and to learn in a space of diversity. So we are glad to have new members, and it's a pleasure. We look forward to sharing with you and learning a lot from your rich experiences, which we know you've done a lot. So it's so much a pleasure, and we hope for more.
Hi everyone, can you all hear me? Hi everyone, I'm Neela Mudayan. I'm from India. I am representing South Asia. And I'm very thrilled today to meet you all after our rigorous interview process that we had. And I would identify myself as a tigress. Before that, I would say I'm very fond of wildlife. And I think since childhood till now, I've been to a lot of national parks, and I love wildlife. So, and I would describe myself or identify myself as a tigress. So I would describe myself as this particular animal because I feel that I am fearless and I'm an independent spirit. And I can maintain a very good balance between challenges and the strength that I have to overcome those challenges. So yeah, that is all about me. Thank you, Margaret.
Okay, I think I'll go next. Hi, everyone. Okay, yeah. So my name is Moses, and I'm from Western Africa, Nigeria to be precise. I also happen to be the founder and CEO of Blue Room Care. So Blue Room Care is one of Africa's largest online therapy platform. And I would identify myself as a lion because I really love to do audacious things and things that are impossible. And I really, I'm very much optimistic to learning from all of you and really providing from my own expertise. Okay, someone said that they cannot hear me. I'm really looking forward to learning from everyone and also contributing my own quota to this network. Thank you.
Всім привіт. Я не говорю англійською, але
Hello
дуже добре
everyone. I
спілкуюся
do not
українською,
speak
тому можу і
English,
вас
but
навчити.
I am able to speak fluently in Ukrainian, so I'm happy to teach you if
Мене
you'd
звати
like.
Кирило, я
My name is
з
Kirilo.
України.
I'm from
Я
Ukraine,
дуже радію, що
and I
Україна
am really
доєдналася
happy
до
that
Міжнародної
Ukraine has
ради
joined to
лідерів альтернативного
International
догляду.
Leaders
І
Care
попри те, що в нас
and
зараз
for this organization,
триває жорстока війна
even
Російської
though
Федерації проти нас,
there
ми
is a big
продовжуємо
war with Russian
реформувати
Federation
систему
now,
догляду,
even
щоб
though
кожна
we are
дитина зростала
continuing
в сімейному
reforming
оточенні.
our system of care for children, so children will be able
І
to grow up
відповідно
in
я
a safe environment.
представляю
And
найбільшу
also
зараз
I represent
організацію в
the
Україні,
biggest
яка
organization in
опікується,
Ukraine
яка зібрала
that has gathered
випускників інтернатних закладів
different
та
graduates from internats
сімейних форм
and
виховання. Це
foster
Офіс дітей та
families.
молоді
This
ДІМО.
is the
ДІМО – це
Office
скорочено
of
діти і молодь.
Children's and
І де
Youth,
ми працюємо
and
над тим,
it's
щоб в
abbreviated as
Україні
DIMO.
розвивалося
In
наставництво,
Ukrainian
і
it
діти
means
зростали
children
не
and
в
youth.
інтернатах, а в сімейних
So this
формах виховання.
organization is
І
aimed
тому я
at
дуже радий, що ми тут,
better care
і
for
сподіваюся,
children in
разом ми
foster
зробимо
families and
не
adopted
тільки для
families.
українських дітей, а для
And we are trying
цілого
to
світу
develop
багато.
ourselves not only for our
Якщо
Ukrainian
говорити за
children, but
те,
also
з чим я себе
worldwide.
ідентифікую, то
Talking about this
ідентифікую себе із жовтим
identification,
кольором,
I
оскільки він
identify myself with
символізує
yellow color
світло,
because
тепло.
it symbolizes light and warmth.
Дайте знати, коли продовжити.
Please let me know when to continue.
No, está muy bien. Dale, dale, Kirilo. Está muy
That's
bien.
okay. Wonderful,
Ага.
Kirilo. Thank you.
Сорі, я просто не
I'm
чую, що
sorry because
перекладається,
I
тому
did not hear
я
what is to
себе
interpret or not.
ідентифікую
But
жовтим
anyway,
кольором, бо
I
він
identify myself with yellow
символізує
color
світло,
because
тепло,
it symbolizes
енергію.
the light and
І
warmth,
відповідно,
energy.
що я намагаюся
And this is
випромінювати в своїй
everything that
професійній чи
I am
особистій
trying to
діяльності. Ну і також для мене цей колір
use in
асоціюється
my
з
work.
відкритістю,
And
щирістю,
this color is
творчим
also a
підходом,
symbol for openness for
які я
myself,
намагаюся
for this
втілювати в
creative
своїй
approach.
роботі з дітьми, в наставництві
And I
або
try to use it
реалізації
in my
соціально-освітніх
work with
проєктів.
children and
Ну і
realization of
жовтий
different
колір
educational
нагадує
and
мені про
social projects.
важливість
And
позитивного
also,
впливу на життя
yellow
інших
color
і
means for
надихає
me the
рухатись
positive
вперед.
impact on the
Дякую.
life of other people, and it helps me move forward. Thank you.
Okay, shall I go? Okay, good. My name is Yusuf. You can simply call me Joe. I'm from Cairo, Egypt. I'm 23 years old. I'm also like I just joined the salsa class 3 months ago. So now I'm intermediate in salsa. I'm one of the co-founder of Kusur Network. It's an Egyptian network for caregivers that we are working 2 pillars. The first one is empowerment, and the second one is advocacy. I was thinking of my spiritual element and stuff, but I really don't know. But I looked to my right and found my planet, and it is cactus. And I really love cactus. I feel it's very adaptable, very resilient, and yeah, maybe cactus then is my spiritual planet. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I go ahead? Can you hear me well? Because actually I am on the way to my home. So may I know? Yeah, thank you. So myself, I'm Nimu and I am from Sri Lanka. So I'm so happy to meet you all, and I'm wishing other care leavers also getting selected for the Care Leaders Council. So myself, currently I'm working as a alternative family and foster care coordinator for the Sri Lanka for the NGO called the Future Today Foundation from UK. And then I also manage, and I am also kind of a pioneer member from the Asian First Care Leavers Network called Generation Never Give Up Network. So quietly, I was earlier I was quite the my works for the GNG network, but currently I am also active members of that network. So in the same time, I would like to say I would like to describe myself as a puppy, because in my home also I have a small of a doggy puppy. So I think each and everyone love for the dogs. So I am really like to get the attention and the love from the people who are around with me. And also I used to bark when there is injustice. So this is my from Sri Lanka. I'm Nimu from Sri Lanka. So I'm so happy to meet you all, and I hope that we all can work together for. Thank you.
Might be one more member, possibly. Afenkosi, are you with us?
No, I think Tatiana is Syrian, and Jason.
Jason. That's, I think, already
Bueno,
spoken.
voy. Se me escucha bien, ¿no?
Okay, I'm going to start. Do you hear me?
Perfecto. Bueno, mi
Perfect.
nombre es Tatiana
Well,
Lucida
my
Silva,
name is
tengo 30
Tatiana
años,
De Silva,
soy
and I'm 30
argentina.
years old. I
Hace
am
unos
from
años empecé a
Argentina,
coordinar un
and a few
espacio
years ago,
regional
I
que
started to
engloba
coordinate
Latinoamérica,
a
13
regional
países de
space,
Latinoamérica.
including 13 countries
Y
in
mis
Latin
inicios
America.
en la
And
militancia
at the
arranca de manera ya
beginning,
más nacional.
it was at
Y
a
me da mucho
national
orgullo estar
level.
acá y mucha
But
alegría
I'm proud to
porque
be
siempre
here
uno
today.
piensa
I'm
que
thrilled
como que está
because
solito en sus
most of the
territorios, en
times
sus
you think
espacios y
that
ver
you
que,
are working
bueno, que hay
alone in
distintas
your own
realidades,
land,
que nos engloba un mismo
but
objetivo
then you
y que
see
este
that
espacio
there
es
are
tan
different
diverso y con
realities,
distintas
and this
voces, me da
space
mucha alegría
has
poder
a lot
formar
of
parte y
diversity,
poder
and
también
I am
expandir
thrilled
y
to be
hacer
part
como
of
más
it.
comunidades,
Also,
¿no? Y que se
to try to
conozca
create
mucho más
more
este espacio,
community
porque
in
la
order
verdad es que
to
hay un
raise
montón de
awareness about
personas
what it is,
haciendo cosas
because
muy
there are a lot of
importantes
people
en el
working
mundo
on our
y está
behalf,
buenísimo que podamos
doing
como
great
conocerlas
things, and it will
y
be
también dar a
great to
conocer
know
nuestro
what they are
trabajo.
doing and to inform
Yo
what we are
me
doing.
identifico con el
And
árbol
actually,
porque
I
hace
identify
raíces,
myself with
porque
a tree
también es muy
because
como
it
de su
has strong
territorio, de
roots
su
and
lugar,
it
pero
creates its
asimismo
own
dejando
space,
semillas se
but at the
puede como
same time,
construir
it
también en
gives
distintas
seeds
partes.
that
Por su
can be
diversidad,
sent
por el
to
contacto con la
different places.
naturaleza,
It
por
has
poder
that
siempre
contact with
expandirse
nature.
mucho más
It
y de poder
expands
también como
itself,
generar
and it
vida.
also creates
Bueno,
life.
eso.
Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. Jason, are you here? Or Sri, I don't know, I can't pronounce that word well. Yeah, from Cambodia.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Raini. I am from Cambodia. So I'm very excited to meet you all today and to see the face. So yes, I work as a social worker and counselor in a women resource center organization. And in this role, I work closely to community with children and women that they have that they are poor, their living is poor and they need help. So we provide basic counseling because most of community, they have violence, discriminate, something like that. And then they need someone that can hear them, can listen to them. So this is my job that related to the related to the society. And also I can identify myself as a palm tree. You know palm tree, right? Because palm trees, when they have a fruit in Cambodia, they take the fruit to make a snack, make a small snack, and it's tasty. Yes, and for the leaf of the palm tree in Cambodia, we used to like we sow it and we make for to cover the house. In the home, in my hometown, I also use the palm tree leaf.
Perdimos a Siren,
We cannot hear her.
la perdimos.
We lost her.
Not only my
Grace, escribámosle por el interno.
Maybe Grace, we can write her directly.
¿Es mi internet o todos
Is that my internet or it
todos
is?
están escuchando lo mismo?
Yeah,
¿O es mi
it's
internet?
her internet.
Escribámosle en el chat
Okay,
que
let's write in the chat
ahora entonces volvemos con ella.
that we couldn't hear,
Entonces,
and maybe she
¿quién
can
más nos
see her
falta?
connection.
Jason.
And I believe that
Jason?
Jason is still missing, right?
Yeah, Jason, I
Jason,
saw
¿estás
he
por ahí?
texted on the chat. So Margot says, Srini, if you can put your video off and then continue with the conversation because we cannot hear you well. So Jason, you may go and then we'll pick up at Srini.
Hi. Hi everyone. This is Jason. I'm so sorry that currently in Zambia we are experiencing very bad load shedding, and it has affected the internet towers. So the network keeps dropping now and then. So the only solution is to move around so that by chance I pick a location that has got some good internet, for which we are expecting, the government to stabilize this situation as they promised just recently. But nevertheless, I'm so excited to be part of the meeting. Thank you so much for the selection, and I look forward to working with each and everyone. My name is Jason Mwanza from Zambia in Lusaka, which is the capital. I am the current president for the Caregivers Association of Zambia, which is going to be the biggest organization to look after the care experienced young people. In Zambia, we are still pushing for the process of finalizing in terms of registering so that we're able to launch. But being part of the Caregivers Council is a very big achievement, not just for me, but for each and everyone who is under my care at the moment. We have about 500 young people. I am also the current president of one of the biggest and growing organizations in Zambia. It's called the Gen Z Zambian Movement, which is a group, a movement comprising of young people that wish to influence the government's policies concerning young people and just provide checks and balances to the government in terms of their promises to the Zambian people. So it might also interest you that we conducted an activity pertaining this same organization that had seen to my arrest just recently. This is something that anyone can look up. It's on Google. You can just type in my name, Jason Mwanza, activist, and it will bring you the details of that event. And it is because of that that I usually identify myself with the lion because of the courage, the leadership, and just the symbol of strength. We have done so much currently because we know some of the things that are affecting our young people, especially those that have lived in facilities before, are a direct result of the bad decisions that the government is making. And so we opted to coming together as young people and just keeping the government in check. And I was selected to be their president or their leader. So we are still growing and moving forward. This is an addition that we are now part of the CLC, which will help us also, just contextualizing some of the policies pertaining our people that have lived in facilities. So I look forward to a productive journey with each and everyone as we are joining the team, representing Southern Africa right here in Zambia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason. So I see Srini has joined back. She had dropped off the call. But before she comes over, I think we've gotten introductions from all the members. I want to say we had two members who were not able to join this meeting today. One is Atenkol Sifani, representing the South African region. And the other representative is Juno Lama from the Southeast Asia. They did send, Juno sent her apology. She couldn't make it to this meeting. So I think that is it for members. So I'll invite Srini to come and finalize her introduction. Shreni, please, if you can put your video off so that we are able to have good connection from your end. And then after you, Michael, you will invite the Better Care Network team to introduce themselves. Yeah.
Thank you
Shreni.
very much. Yeah, hello, can you hear me well now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, because in Cambodia was raining and then it the internet was unstable. Very sorry. Yeah, so I will introduce myself again. My name is Shreni. I am a member from Cambodia, and my current job as a social worker and counselor. So I can identify myself as a palm trees because I can see that palm tree is one of the tree that have a lot of benefit for other, like for example, for the fruit of the palm tree, we can make it for the small palm cake. In Cambodia, we used to take the palm tree fruit to make a cake, and also we take the leaf of the palm tree to make a house, to cover the roof of the house. For example, my house was covered with the palm tree leaf also. And then for the palm tree, for the tree, the main tree, we take that for a boat. So I can identify myself like that because what I have inside, but what is my nature need, and that I can help to the people around me, to my society, my community. I love to help other people. Mostly, I love my job very much because my job can support other people a lot, especially with the women and girls that they have, they need help, they need support. That's why I say that, okay, now me today, Shreni today, is to help other people that need help. That's why I am very excited to be here today and to build my connection with other global that can empower myself, that I can learn more, and then I can see it to people around. So this is my main goal, that I can take what I have to support others. So thank you very much, and hope that we can make we can build a better world, and we can see our knowledge from between other country to another country. So I think not only Cambodia that have that many community need help, also other countries. So I'm willing to share what I have experienced from myself. Also can hear your experience from other global experience the same. So thank you for this today. I am very excited for meeting you all. Sorry that I can't show my face, turn on my video because my internet is unstable. Because in Cambodia now at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. So it and then raining. So very sorry about my internet. Yeah. Thank you.
Tranquila, que
No
entendemos
worries, we
las situaciones que pasan
understand
en cada
the
país y pues
situation of every
eh,
country,
eso no es problema.
and
Estamos
that's
para
the
apoyar
problem.
y
We are
acompañarnos.
here to support each other,
Para aquellos
to
que
be with
pueden
us.
mostrar sus
And for
caras
those
en
who
esta pantalla, ya que no podemos estar de
can
manera presencial,
show your
les invito a que
faces.
encendamos las cámaras para que estemos un poco
Okay,
más
let's
cercanos, ¿sí?
turn on the cameras because it
Esperemos que en el 2025
actually
podamos
get us
vernos de manera
closer. And
presencial.
hopefully
Vamos a
in
trabajar para eso.
2025,
Ojalá,
maybe we can meet
ojalá se pueda.
physically each other.
Por
I don't
ahora
know.
me encantaría
But
verles a
so
todos y
far,
todas.
it's
Eso, así
important to see our
nos sentimos
faces.
más cercanos. Listo, agradezco
if that's
mucho
possible.
por las
Thank
presentaciones.
you.
Esto
Thank
es
you so
algo que
much
nos
for the
permite
presentations and round of
reconocernos,
introductions,
¿sí?
because it is
Identificarnos y
something that
darnos cuenta
allows
qué es
us
eso que
to
nos
know
mueve,
what we're
¿sí?
doing, what
Y
is
eso es muy
moving us.
importante para
And
poder
that
dar el
is
siguiente
important
paso
to
de
continue with the
construir
next
ese
step
sueño
of
que se llama
building,
el Consejo de
that
Líderes
dream
Globales,
that
¿sí? Empezar
now
a poner
has
en
this
acción
name of a
todo eso que ya
council,
se ha
to
venido
start with
construyendo.
action, everything
Y
that we
ahora,
have worked in the
para
past.
que
And
ustedes tengan un
now,
contexto
for you to
de la
have a better
historia
context
de cómo llegamos
of
a
the
lo que hoy en día
background
tenemos y lo que
of
estamos
our
viendo al
council, what
frente,
you see
¿sí? De contar
today,
con representantes, líderes fuertes,
how we
¿sí? Desde
get
cada uno de sus países y
representatives
regiones.
from different
Vamos a
regions
pasar al
and
segundo
countries.
punto,
We are
y es
going
a
to go
contar
to the
ese contexto
second
historia de
step.
cómo surge el consejo,
And it's
¿sí?
to tell
¿Para
you the
qué y por
story, the
qué? ¿Cuál es su razón
history
de
of
ser?
our
¿Sí?
council.
¿Cuál es la
What is the
proyección que tenemos?
reason and the
¿Y qué hay
projection we
detrás de
have?
todo esto?
What is behind
Entonces,
all of this?
antes de darle la palabra a Ruth, me
And
gustaría dar una
before giving
introducción
Ruth the
breve
word, I
de
would
ello.
like to give a brief introduction about it.
Desde el 2021,
And since
USAID
2021,
quiso establecer un consejo de
USAID
líderes del
wanted to
cuidado, ¿sí?
establish a
O mejor
council.
dicho, un espacio de asesores que les
And what it
permitiera
is a space
tener
of care
recomendaciones
leavers, of consultants that will provide
del Centro de Adversidad por la
recommendations,
Niñez, donde se trabaja el cuidado de la crianza y
especially
el cuidado de la familia.
in family
USAID había
care,
planteado
in
una
children's
estrategia
and youth care, and their strategy
2019-2023,
was
¿sí? Y para
2019,
eso hizo una
2023.
invitación
And
a
to
diferentes
create that
líderes
strategy,
globales
they
para que hicieran
invited
parte de ese
different
primer
leaders
grupo de
around the globe
asesores de
to
USAID
make
del
the
Centro
first
de la Adversidad de la
group
Niñez.
on
En ese
the
primer grupo
adversity
sí,
hub
estuvimos
when we have childhood.
los que
And
precedemos
in
la
this
fundación
first
del
group,
Consejo, Grace,
we were the
Nilan,
ones like you see
Ruth,
today, Grace, Nilam, Ruth,
Elvis y otros
Elvis,
miembros que en estos
other
momentos no se
members who
encuentran aquí,
are
pero que
not part of
aportaron
it right now.
a la construcción de este sueño que
But
nos tiene
well, they
hoy aquí
were
presente
actually part of
participando.
it.
Vamos que ese fue un
And that
momento
was
crucial
a crucial
donde
moment
estuvimos en
in
diversas
which
reuniones
we shared
con USAID
in different meetings with
discutiendo
USAID, and
la
we
problemática
discussed
de las
the
personas que salen de los
problems
centros de protección o los
that care
egresados
leavers were
y cómo viven
facing,
esa transición.
how they live the
¿Cuáles son
transition,
las legislaciones o políticas que hay
what
en
are
cada
the
uno de los países
legislation
que se debe
policies in
mejorar
each
para
country,
que
what
haya
should
mejor
be
atención
improved
y
in
entornos
order to receive
familiares mucho más
better
seguros y
care
protectores?
and to have
Desde
better
allá empezó
family
este sueño.
environments.
Pero luego
And
de
then,
vivir la primera y la segunda
after
fase
leaving the
de
first, the second stage
consejo asesor,
of this
¿sí?
consultancy,
Decidimos sentarnos
we decided
y plantearle una propuesta a USAID.
to
¿sí?
take
Y
our
esa propuesta que
position
planteamos fue,
and to
nosotros
give a
queremos hacer
proposal.
parte de la
And we
mesa.
said, okay, we
Nosotros
want to be
queremos
part of this round table.
que nos escuchen directamente
We
y tomar
want to
decisiones
be heard,
y ser un consejo
to
independiente
make
que pueda
decisions, to be an
ser
independent
sostenible,
council that will
pueda
be
generar
sustainable, that
directrices y
will
guías
create
para
guidelines
acompañamiento, ¿sí? a
to
las redes globales
accompany
y tener una
those
posición
global
de
networks
representación
and
a
to
nivel
be
global.
the
Y a
representatives
partir de
around the
aquí,
globe.
así de manera
And from
general,
here, in a
empezó
general
este
way,
sueño, ¿sí?
we
Este sueño de consejo
began
de
with the
líderes
stream of
globales,
having
CLC.
this council, the
Entonces, con esta
CLC,
pequeña
that
introducción, para no tomarme la
comprises a
palabra,
lot
le
of
doy
people.
paso
And
a Ruth
just with
para que
this
ella les cuente un poco
little
más de manera
introduction,
profunda
I'm going to give the space to Ruth.
desde la reunión de Nairobi,
And
cómo se
from the
construyó
last
todo
meeting of
esto
Nairobi, she can
que
tell
hoy
you
tenemos acá.
how
Entonces,
all
Ruth,
of this
dale,
was
el espacio
constructed.
es tuyo.
And now, Ruth, is your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael and colleagues. You will excuse me. Okay, I can have my video on, but in case my Wi-Fi acts up, I will have my video off. Thank you for your understanding.
So
So
maybe
I am
Florence, you can share the slide kindly. Go ahead, Ruth.
Bear with me.
Perdón, Ruth. Se me olvida algo. Qué pena. Lo siento mucho, Florence
Ruth, I'm
y
sorry,
Margot.
Florence.
Qué pena. No nos presentamos, Florence.
I didn't
Tu turno de
introduce you,
presentarte y Margot.
Margot and
Y
Florence.
aquí
We
en
must
presencia de todos,
introduce it
quiero
before all of you. I would like
dar
to
un agradecimiento
thank
profundo a
you
Florence y a
deeply.
Margot, que
Thank you, and you and Margot,
eh,
because you
son
are
los secretarios del consejo. Son
the secretaries
ese
of this
pilar
council.
que ha permitido
You
que
are
todo esto se dé. ¿Sí?
the
Desde la primera reunión
pillars of this
presencial en
council
Nairobi,
from the
como todo este
first meeting in
proceso,
Nairobi with all
gestionar los
these
intérpretes,
processes,
permitir que
getting the
todos estemos
interpreters,
aquí,
to allow
organizar todo el
everyone to
tema de
gather
los
here today
estipendios. Así que
and organize
te
all the
queremos
funding.
agradecer en
And I
nombre
would
de
like to
todo
thank you
el
on
grupo
behalf
Florence
of
por,
everyone.
y
Thank you,
Margot por
Florence,
esa
and thank you, Margot,
dedicación,
for all
compromiso
your hard work and dedication
que han dedicado a esto y de verdad
and
lo apreciamos
all the
muchísimo.
efforts and time
Entonces,
that you have put into
perdónenme, pero
this. I
preséntense,
apologize
por favor.
for not doing this before, but please introduce yourselves. Thank you.
Not a problem at all, Michael. It's totally our pleasure to be working with you. And we are, like you, so excited to see this amazing group strengthened with new members. So we're very delighted to do this. So my name is Florence Martin. I'm the Executive Director of Better Care Network. I am French born, but I live in New York. If I was going to say an animal, it would have to be an insect, a cicada. I don't know whether you have them in your countries, but cicada is an amazing insect that lives for many years under the ground in the winter and the cold months, and then comes out in the summer and starts flying and living a beautiful life, but quite short. And I love this insect because for me, first of all, I hate the cold. So I understand cicadas very well. And secondly, they're very resilient. They're amazingly resilient animals that learn to transform themselves and adapt to the environment. And so I like to think I'm a little bit like that. So that would be my animal. Over to you, Margot.
Hi, everyone. It's so lovely to see you guys in your faces and not just on email. I'm Margot Cornelius, and I'm South African born. I live in the US, in Michigan, with my family. And if I had to choose something, I would choose an acorn. I've always loved acorns because they're very tiny, but they have lots of potential to grow into big, giant trees. And I've always been fascinated with, if you go to California, you look at those big redwood trees that have been there for many years. So I've lived away from South Africa for many years. And so when you live away from home, as some of you know, you have to plant yourself and grow wherever you are. And acorns can do that. So I identify as an acorn. So lovely to meet you. Over to you, Grace.
Ahora sí, Ruth, es todo tuyo el espacio. Gracias, Florence y Margot.
Thank you, Florence and Margot. Now, Ruth, the microphone is all yours.
Thank you so much. I want to believe it's the next slide. Yes, overview of the council's background. Thank you so much. I pretty much, because of the work that Grace did and made this very interesting, visually exciting, I also would want to make sure that my presentation is not going into all the nitty-gritties, but just to make sure that it's quite engaging. And so I would want to talk about things that are very, very relatable to us. And if I am allowed, I would want to go back to, many people will say, why, I'm sure someone like Florence, people will ask you, why Better Care Network? Why? What other organization? The question has always been why. And so this does take me to a few years ago in 2020. There had been a lot of consultation with care experienced people. And I know for sure because we did interviews with you and we read all about your inspirations and why you wanted to join the council. It was clear that everybody wants to bring their best feet forward, their own experiences, but not just the past. It's also how to shape the future. So in 2020, there was a general feeling which was informally discussed about the experiences a lot of us and a lot of caregivers had with one, the governments, two organizations, others the orphanages. And there was a general feeling that although there was a lot of light into these issues, it felt more like caregivers were just a resource that could just be tapped into as organizations move ahead. And so the engagement, the participation of caregivers wasn't really meaningful. And so there was a feeling that we do not want to just see it complaining. We probably need to best find our solutions on one, building a structure that is our very own, because there was a general experience with caregivers that had been invited either to policy dialogues, invited to speak at conferences. There was a general feeling that it never goes beyond that. It's more about our stories and that ends. So there was a clear no, there wasn't an existing structure that allowed caregivers to influence these one globally. There wasn't a unified voice globally that could match the demand within the civil society organization. So what did we do? So people informally, again, like I said, had discussions, and we probably resolved to, not probably, but we definitely resolved to approach USAID. This was done by, I know we have 2 members on this call, and we also have outgoing members, and to approach USAID. And the question is why USAID? Is because USAID was also working and supporting a lot of work around family programs. And so we thought maybe let's approach USAID, which I think is always a good idea, but at the same time, it wasn't going to let us achieve what we wanted. And I will explain why. So we did do a proposal to USAID and said whether they could support the development of a structure that was independent and that wasn't limiting caregivers' voices to just sharing their stories. So what happened with that? The idea was welcomed, and a year later, around November 2020, there was, of course, the idea of the council. However, what was challenging about that, and I'm glad Michael is on this call, is that although what we had proposed, or people who are part of the small team that had made this proposal, there was a clear disconnect, that there wasn't a total understanding of what it meant, because what was in our mind was an independent council. But we had also approached USAID, so it was also us, but we didn't really look at the limitations this could bring. So anyway, the USAID Care Leaders Council was formed. Did we really want to form a USAID Care Leaders Council? Of course not. We were hoping for something more independent, something that had ownership. And of course, we had envisioned 7 members. But when this was published, it had, I think it was a 16-member thing that nobody was also consulted on it. So even the people who had done the proposal and had a whole year of meetings pushing for this, because we had been informed that is a very bureaucratic process. And to imagine we had not interacted with that level of introducing a new structure within USAID. It was really, really difficult, and we appreciate the people who did this. But now, after this was announced, we had people applying globally and became part of the council. Now, what happened when you have had a dream and you realize that, yes, you share this dream, you needed the support, but it has taken a whole new angle. We really appreciate that although it became a USAID Care Leaders Council, it wasn't one representative, it wasn't a global, it wasn't quite functioning, neither was it achieving what we hoped it would achieve. Probably this brings me to us celebrating, because Better Care Network came on board. And I think, again, it was literally to take away that, to make it what we had initially, envisioned. And that is why we are where we are now. One is we had like 7 members in Africa, and we didn't have representations from other countries. For a global council, to be a global council, geographically, we have to be representative. We also have to be inclusive. We also have to make sure that we're independent. But how then do we get there when all we had were care experience advocates who are hanging loosely in individual countries? And so Better Care Network did come into the picture, and we remain indebted to Florence for supporting this transition. So as you're joining from a long history where this came from a small idea. And along the way, the first thing that Better Care Network did, I think with support from USAID, is to bring all the members to Nairobi. And we spent a week together to brainstorm what you can see today. So this is an outcome of what was brainstormed in Nairobi. It was an amazing time to meet people who we were just meeting remotely. And we had to talk about what are the challenges that we are facing? What is the goal? How can we refine the vision? Because initially, whatever was there, again, it wasn't inclusive. It wasn't a vision and a mission and a goal that you could say caregivers globally can own to this. So out of the Nairobi meeting, that formed the basis for our transition from a USAID advisory body, because the challenges that we are facing cannot just be addressed by USAID as an entity. It's not one organization. How do we make sure we can partner with as many organizations as possible without having it to limit to one entity? At the same time, is also to be able to plug into so many other areas and caregivers as well. What has the challenges been like? Of course, if you hear me talk about this, you think it has been smooth. Of course, it wasn't smooth. The reason I say this is because this morning I was having a conversation with another person, a care experience person, and we were laughing that 99% of the work we do is voluntary. This work has been very, very challenging because even from the beginning, you would see that people would not come to meetings, and especially if there is no funding. But we appreciate that there is a stipend that is able to support people to be able to join and have, their internet covered. But at the same time, although this was available, you can imagine bringing together 16 members who are in different parts of the world, and they probably cannot agree on one thing. Again, we did not have a governance and a leadership structure at all. So it was such a challenge. And as we know that everybody's thing is nobody's thing. If you say today, let's have someone take notes, you're very certain that tomorrow nobody will have done that because you haven't assigned to a specific person. So lack of governance structures were issues. Then with also the way, the meetings were happening, we still had people not being able to commit to come to meetings. And so that was delaying a lot of things. Funding will remain a challenge, but at the same time, all we need is not just funding. There's just much more. There's a need for capacity to handle funding. Not just that, there's a need to understand why do you need funding for. So we did not have proper plans and activities of what we wanted to achieve. And we are hoping that out of what we have learned, that we are going to work on those and make sure that we can make the council very, very functional. We were not inclusive. We are so happy that right now we can proudly, openly, and loudly say that the council is inclusive. Is the journey ahead exciting? It is exciting for me. I don't know what it is for you, but I believe it is exciting. And it just feels so good to have transitioned from a USAID council to something very global. And from a personal level, I would say this is exactly what we wanted to see at the very beginning. And we are hoping that this doesn't just become as something we want to add to our CV, but we hope that we can all make it very, very functional and very meaningful, and that we are not just learning from one another, but we can also bring a lot to the table. So if it feels happy to say that, yes, I am getting into a house that I'll also take part in building the window, fixing the door, deciding where the dining table will be, what corner of the room and where the bed will be, then this is exactly the place for you. For those of you who are doing individual work, allow me to just inspire you a little bit and say that this one should inspire you to say that, yes, you need to keep pushing. For those of us who have felt exploited along the way, either intentionally or intentionally. I know as care experienced people, we can be very, very radical and say, oh, you're intentionally exploiting me. But for those who have been exploited again, you can say that instead of using that to complain, then give a solution and work through it. And be as resilient as possible, because by the end of it all, we have something that we can all celebrate. Thank you so much, and over to the next facilitator or presenter.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for
Gracias,
the extensive history.
Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth.
Es maravilloso,
It's
digamos,
amazing
escuchar todo esto, de verdad, me
listening to
emociona.
all this,
Y
that in
saber que
all
desde el
your
2020
insight, and to know that
por allá
from
inicié un
2020,
sueño que ahora
that
poco
was
a
a
poco se va
dream,
haciendo realidad.
that
Es
this
muy
dream
cierto,
is
todavía hay muchos
becoming real.
retos y
As you
desafíos,
said,
como
there
dices,
are many challenges
pero
ahead of us, but
creo que todos los
I
que estamos aquí
believe
estamos
that
en la capacidad de
everyone
poder
gathered here
asumir
today, we can
con responsabilidad y valentía esos retos. A
take
eso
over
estamos
these
llamados.
challenges with
Y por eso
responsibility.
fueron
That is my
escogidos
call.
también,
And that is
porque
why they were
tienen la
called and chosen,
capacidad de
because they
poder
have the capacity
hacer
to
el
make
tránsito al
the
siguiente nivel de
transition
lo que
to the
requiere el
next
Consejo.
level
Y
of
eso
what the council
precisamente
requires. And that
es
is
lo que vamos a
exactly
estar
what
discutiendo
we're going to be
en este
discussing
proceso. Y
in
antes de
this
darle
process. And
paso a Grace
before
para que nos
continuing with
cuente
Grace
toda esa
to
parte
hear
gruesa del Consejo,
about
sí,
the
de
council,
algunos
about
términos
and some
importantes,
important
eh,
terms,
me gustaría
I would like
poner
to
sobre la mesa algo muy importante
put
y es
on the table something very
y
important
para que lo vayan pensando en el
for you
transcurso de
to
toda esta
think
reunión. Y es
about
que
throughout this meeting. It's that
estos 16 miembros
these
que desde el
16
principio
members that
soñamos y
from the
planteamos
beginning we dreamed
con el apoyo
and
de BCN y USAID,
we launched
esta
with
visión
the
y misión
BCN
y objetivos del Consejo,
and USAID.
lo hicimos pensando
We did it
en lo que
thinking
venía, o sea, en
on what
ustedes.
was
¿sí?
coming, meaning you,
Cada una
all of
de
you,
las
each
palabras
one of the
que
words
colocamos en ese
that we
documento,
added in that
en el
document
espacio presencial en Nairobi,
in
lo
Nairobi
hicimos
in
pensando en
person.
los nuevos
We did
miembros
it
que iban
thinking
a
about the new
entrar
members
a ser
that were
parte
going to
de
join
este consejo.
and being part of this
Así
council.
que ser una plataforma que
Being a
actúa como puente a
platform
nivel
as
global de
a
organizaciones
bridge to get
que
to a global
lideran,
level for
personas
organizations at a
que
global
han
level,
estado
leading people
en
that been
protección, es un gran reto.
under
¿sí?
care, under the
Y
system.
ese
That
gran reto tiene que
is a
ver con
challenge. That challenge
visibilizar las
has
problemáticas,
to do with
plantear estrategias
making
que
visible
verdaderamente
situations
generen
and launch
cambios
strategies
desde la legislación
that
y
would
políticas
generate
públicas.
changes on
Generar estos espacios, ¿sí?
policies,
de
public
participación
policies,
también
and
son un
generate
reto.
spaces for
Llamar a
discussion. It's
cada
a
uno de los
challenge.
jóvenes de nuestras
Call
regiones para que
each one of
participen en el
the young
activismo juvenil,
people to
¿sí?
participate
Y no tengan
in
que pasar lo que
youth
Jason está
advocacy
pasando, que lo
and not
arresten por ser un activista que
to
defiende
go
los
through
derechos
what
humanos,
Jason is facing.
¿sí? Entonces, esta comunidad
These
debe posicionarse
community
y debe
must be
abogar
positioned and
porque
must
los
advocate
activistas líderes del
for
cuidado tengamos voz,
the
representación y
leaders
podamos
to
defender con
have
tranquilidad y
representation and to
contar
be
con
able
todos los
to
mecanismos
advocate in a free
para
way
que se mejoren los procesos de
with the
políticas en
mechanisms
cada uno de los
for the
países
policies,
y
procedures
no surjan más
be
violencias
better
hacia las
and
infancias
to prevent
que han
violence
tenido experiencia en
for
el
the
cuidado y que hoy en día quieren
children
generar un cambio.
that have had
Entonces,
experience under
es
care
importante
and they
que
want to
eso
generate a
lo
change.
tengamos
I
presente y lo
believe that
guardemos
is
para
something
que
that we must keep in mind
vayan surgiendo ideas en el transcurso
for
de
us to
esta
have
reunión.
ideas
Así que,
throughout this meeting.
Ruth, Grace,
Grace,
puedes continuar.
you
Gracias.
may continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, and thank you so much, Ruth, also for your extensive history of where we came from as the CLC to where we are right now. So on to our next slide, Florence. I will be speaking now onto what was the milestone that the first Care Leaders Council came up with, and it is the TOR. And picking on what Ruth just mentioned on the house analogy, whereby, yeah, our house is not fully completed. So we are still working towards developing it. And the TOR is the framework that we have right now. And the next steps of actualizing that it becomes a fully furnished house will depend on we members who are here and our commitment towards that. So I will speak towards the TOR. I wanted us to just have a look at it and understand so what's the vision of the current CLC, of the current council, and where do we want to go? What are some of our roles as members and responsibilities? And then briefly, if maybe we can speak into meetings. So Florence, I don't know if you're able to share the TOR or I share from my end.
I can, but so let me switch this off.
Yeah, okay.
Sharing, bear with me. I'm going to need to find it.
It's okay. And I hope all of you had access to the terms of reference. I remember when we shared the call, it was attached in the call for all of you to have a look at it and see if it's something of interest you'd want to engage into.
There we go.
Okay.
Let me see if I can make this bigger.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, it's visible. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the introduction. So I'll just go to the vision mission, Florence. Yeah, so our vision is a world where care experience people are empowered and their voices amplified to influence stakeholders to uphold the rights of all children and young people living in alternative care and people who've left care. It continues to say it's to improve policies and services to provide better care for all vulnerable children, preventing family separation and reforming care systems to strengthen family care globally. So that's our vision. It's really huge. It has a lot of components, but that's what the former members believed into, that as a council, this is what we want to achieve, to guide us, to be our compass. And how we achieve this is through the mission of to be a platform that acts as a global bridge for organizations, groups, and networks of care experienced young people, which facilitates spaces and opportunities for participation, community building, knowledge sharing, connecting, supporting initiatives and advocacy by care experienced people with different actors and decision makers globally. And that mission is what also has informed most of our work. Florence, if you go down, you'd see on the objectives. So we have 4 main objectives. We have an overall goal that is to advocate for the rights of care experienced people and children without adequate parental care. And we have 4 key objectives that are listed on how we'd be able to achieve this. And these key objectives are the ones that we hope that would guide our future work, whereby we'd have a team or the council having a representation on supporting of the existing networks of young people with of networks of care leavers networks. That is the main objectives, whereby all of us here, one of our main criteria was to identify people who are connected to a network of care experienced people. And the reason behind that was because of these key objectives, because we want to work with the existing networks to be able to support them in their different capacities. The second objective is on advocacy and influence, echoing what Michael said. As Jason mentioned, his activities on activism, whereby the council can also continue to support such activities. The third objective is on, Lawrence, if you scroll down, technical guidance and programs. And then lastly is on monitoring and research. So this is our vision and mission as the council. And as we said, this has not yet been actualized. It's mostly in writing, like on paper, but we are the people who will bring this to reality. So going ahead onto the roles and responsibilities section. I will skip all that, and come to now the roles and responsibilities of, Jason is saying, so we kindly repeat the statement concerning activism. So I was saying, as part of our objective, objective 2 was on advocacy. So I mentioned that as the council being able to identify people or caregivers who are in the activism space and supporting them. So that is part of, our vision as the council. So from that objective, we can be able to support future activities on advocacy. So on to roles and responsibilities. These are the roles for all members, and I wanted us to just familiarize ourselves with it. And Kirilo, I see you asking if we can share this document. Yes, for sure we will. We will share the document with all of you. So the first responsibility is to dedicate the necessary time and effort to actively participate in council's activities, meetings, and initiatives. And if you had one of the challenges in the past phase of the council, Ruth mentioned that our commitment to meetings was a challenge from the past members. So that's why it was insisted on this TOR that for all members who have signed the agreement and have committed to be part of the council to dedicate the necessary time for meetings when called upon. The second one is to contribute to agenda development, co-facilitation, and attend respective meetings designated by the council. You'd also lead or contribute to working groups, task forces to support the fulfillment of the council's mandate and strategic objectives, including the recruitment of new members of the council, the development of strategies and activity plans, including fundraising, development of guidance, guidelines, policies, or advocacy tools, as well as the purpose of consultation with key actors. So on these key responsibility number 3, how we intend to be able to actualize some of or to accomplish some of the activities is using subgroups or task forces, whereby we form small groups and then they are assigned with a certain responsibility, then they work towards it and then report back to the main council, to all the members. And those are some of the listed roles that we will be taking. I know for the existing members, we experienced the recruitment process, whereby we were all engaged in recruiting of the new members that we have right now. So that will be one of the future role of the members. The other one is to present at the council meetings activities from respective national and regional care leaders networks and identify areas of collaboration and joint efforts. Whereby one of the criteria for you to be part of the council was for you to be linked with an existing care leaver network. And the reason behind that was because you'd be able to update us on the progress of the national networks, areas of collaboration. And I know Ruth mentioned that she's representing the East African region, but on a broader perspective, she's here also representing the African region through ACNA. So in such a way whereby you'd be able to feed back into the council, give reports and just say, I see these are the areas of opportunities, or these are the areas where the council can support the respective networks with. So that's speaking onto that point. The other one is regularly report back to respective care leavers, national and regional networks and support. Next steps for implementing joint efforts identified. So it's still supporting the above responsibility. Yes, Joyce, you've raised your hand kindly. If you wait, we have the next session where we'd be able to respond to some of the questions.
Yeah, sure,
Kindly.
absolutely.
Yes. And then the other responsibility is to act as a role model and mentors to inspire, empower, and guide other care experienced individuals in our respective region. Ruth just mentioned of how care experienced people feel exploited. So you being engaged in this platform, you'd get guidance, capacity building, and more exposure. And from that, you can be able to mentor those from your respective regions and support them in the different capacities that you can. Scroll down, Florence, please. Yes. The other responsibility is to develop concept notes to support initiatives by care experienced individuals and networks and present to potential donors. As one of the challenge that Ruth pointed into was in terms of funding, and this is going also to be a challenge. As of now, I don't know if this was mentioned, USAID is supporting our activities like the meetings, and some of the activities would be able to carry on, but they're limited, the funding is limited. So we need to think into other different sources of funding, and we thought of concept notes or, reaching out to different donors. So if a member will be able to identify, we can work towards together as a council to be able to get more funding for the council's activity. The other one is to provide regular reports to stakeholders and partners on the progress and impact of council's initiatives. This will be communicated also based on, like currently we have USAID, we have Better Care Network supporting us. And also we are working towards our communication channels and platform to have an area where we can be able to, a website where we can communicate to all external partners, like share the different activities or initiatives we are participating in. The other responsibility is participate in needs analysis programs and M&D design initiatives. This is just for M&D monitoring and evaluation. Build partnership with other actors in the sector, representing the council in those discussions, including global and regional initiatives. So where necessary, where you've identified a forum or a conference, and the council can actually assign you to go represent the council in those forums. So that can be one of the tasks. And then lastly is to engage in international advocacy and networking activities to amplify voices of care experienced individuals on a global scale. Yeah, so those are the responsibilities that will be expected of us to ensure that we are able to support our vision and the listed objectives to come to actualization. So I wanted also to touch on to, I think, was it in the, governance structure also slightly. hoping I still have some time, a bit of time here. Yeah, so Ruth also pointed out as one of the challenge from the last phase is we did not have a governance structure. And now with this current TOR, we were able to formulate a governance structure whereby the highest governing or the leadership will be the coordinators team. So we'll have the coordinators team on top to be able to lead all of us. And then from the coordinators team, we'll have the general membership. We also have the advisory group, and this is where Better Care Network and USAID team fall into. So in case you also have future donors or interested stakeholders who'd want to support the council in different ways, technical ways, they join and be part of the advisory group. We also have the alumni group, and this is of the former existing council members, whereby who can be invited once in a while or to be updated on the council's activity. So that is it from my end. And yeah, that is all I wanted to share as an overview of who we are as a council as of now and where we want to go and where you'd come in as the new members to support us in actualizing this vision. So thank you very much. And yeah, I think over to the next slide, which is of now question and answer, I guess, Florence.
Do you want me to put the slides or do you want to keep it open so people can see each other?
Okay, yeah, you can keep it open, yeah. And Ruth will help me in facilitating this session. So members, you're open for any questions that might have arisen from all our presentations.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Please go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Please go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's in the sorry. Where was it? It was at the responsibilities, I guess point number D. I was opening it, but I couldn't see it right now. Yeah, so the point says present at the council meeting activities from respective national and regional care levers network and identifies area of collaboration and joint effort. Could you elaborate more on this?
Oh yeah, sure. So this speaks into, you see, like for me here in Kenya, I'm part of the Kenya Society of Care Leavers, and within this region, I'd report to the council on areas of collaboration from the national network. So be it like the CASCA network is requiring support in a different area, I can present that point to the council. And if the council is in a position to help, then they would. Or if they've seen an opportunity, a funding opportunity that they'd want to apply together with the council, because for one reason or the other, the global council might have an upper hand or while applying for that application, then you can come and, bring the idea to the council, and then you can apply through collaborative actions. The other thing is also still reporting back to your existing networks on the progress of, the council, so that they are also updated on the different initiatives that we are working towards. And this also will help the different people who did apply and were not able to, qualify for this membership, and to just keep updating the people that we represent. And by this is because we know that by the virtue that you're selected into the council, it is because we will be representing the voices of other care leavers within our network. So that's why we have they need to have feedback loops from the council and to the members that you're representing. Yeah, I hope that is clear, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hay otra cosa que quiero agregar, perdón, Grace
Yes,
y para
Grace,
Joe,
I would like to add
es,
something here.
digamos,
Is
para amplificar las voces
to enhance the
y para dar
voices
a conocer la
and
situación que
to
pasa en cada
make the
uno de los
situation
países o
known
regiones,
that is going
es
on in each
importante que
country
ustedes
and
como
regions. It is
líderes que
important
representan
that you as
a la
leaders
población de
that are
egresados en cada
representing
uno de esos países
of
nos esté alimentando
people that are
continuamente de lo
outside
que
the
pasa
system
en sus
is to
países,
be
porque el
informing
órgano del consejo
constantly
está
of what is
llamado a
going
ser
on
ese
in your
puente
country. The
entre
council is
cooperantes,
called to
¿sí?
be
A nivel global.
bridge
Y eso nos va a
between
facilitar poder
donors at a
generar
global level,
estrategias y
because then
documentos
we can
que nos
in
permitan
that way
proponer
generate
recomendaciones
documents
a
or
los estados
strategies
para
and get
transformar y reformar los
give
sistemas. Entonces, por
recommendations
eso
to
es
the countries
importante que
to reform
continuamente cada mes
and improve
esté
the systems. That's
dando
why it's
información
important
sobre los
to
avances que ustedes estén
continuously
teniendo en sus
report
regiones,
of
porque eso es un material muy importante para
the
nosotros
achievements
y así
that you're
poder
doing.
ir y
That is
hablar
something important for
con
us to
posibles
go
donantes
and talk to
y
potential
poder
donors
bajar los recursos que se
and to
necesitan
be
para
able to get the
resolver esas
funding
problemáticas.
to
Entonces,
solve
por
these
eso es
issues. That
importante
is why
toda
it's
esa
so
información.
important
Gracias.
to report this information. Thank you.
I see Nemo has posted a question on the chat. Ruth, Nilam, Michael, do you want to respond to that?
¿Cuál pregunta?
Which question?
So on the chat, I have a question. Currently, I have contact and do work with the 2 Caregivers Network in Sri Lanka. So if they need of support of getting funds for one of the activity, is the council going to support for the activities? Is there any specific activity that the council can support with? Try to. Michael, Ruth,
Grace,
yes, please.
can I have a question? Can I have a
Yeah.
question? All right.
Kindly, if you can wait for
Okay.
Nilam to respond to Nemu's question, then you'll come next.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that I think we all will be aligned with it, that I think we can't provide the financial support for any kind of activities to the network. Like I am connected to one of the networks in India. If I would like to go ahead with any activities within that network, then the financial support will not be provided from the council's end, but you can discuss if you need any mentorship, if you need any guidance, if you're trying to form a network, if you need any guidance on the policies or like whatever we just went through in the TOR, we all members can come together and help you to formulate that. But yes, as we said, I think we also talked about the funding that we are getting that is already limited, and therefore we will not be able to extend the financial support to any of the networks that you have in your regions. But here we are here to support you in terms of mentorship, in terms of guidance, in terms of policy formation as per your country's guidelines and the government has laid out. That we can definitely do. I hope it answers Nemo's question.
Yeah, thank you, Nilam. And also to add on to that, Nemo.
Ahí, gracias, Nilan. Ahí quiero complementar,
Thank
digamos
you,
que
Nilan. I just want to add
perfecto lo
something
que
to
dijo
it.
Nilan. Por el momento no
Regarding to what
podemos
Nilan said,
destinar
yes, we
recursos.
cannot
Sin embargo, esa es la tarea,
provide funding,
digamos, a
but
la que
that
estamos llamados, y es
is
poder atraer, más allá de USAID, otros cooperantes que permitan
attract
generar un
other
fondo de
funders besides
emergencia
USAID
para
to
poder
generate an emergency funding
responder a las
to be
necesidades
able to
económicas
respond to
que
the
tienen las
needs
redes regionales. Y
that
así
the
mismo no
regional
solamente
networks
apoyar
have
Desde la línea técnica que acaba de
from the
hablar
technical
Nila,
line that Nilan
en
just
apoyo a una
mentioned,
asesoría, etcétera, sino
to
también
support
desde lo económico,
with
para que
guidelines
fortalezcan
and mentorship,
emprendimientos,
but also
liderazgos,
we
realicen
can
campañas.
provide
Pero eso es un paso que debemos dar progresivamente.
help
El primero
for
es este,
campaigns.
conocernos,
The first one
conocer la
is to
estructura y plantear
get
un
familiar with
plan
the structure
estratégico
and
para
generate a
2025, desde unas
strategic plan
actividades
for
concretas
2025
desde las
with
diferentes áreas
specific
y
activities
los comités de
from
los cuales
different
habló
areas
Grace.
and the
Y eso nos va
committees
a
that
permitir
Grace
poder tener
mentioned.
claro
And that would allow us
qué es lo
to be
que
clear
tenemos, qué
on what we
necesitamos
have,
para
what we
lograr
need
la misión
in
y
order
visión del
to
Consejo. Así que
achieve the vision and mission
eso
from the
quería,
council.
digamos, dejar en
That
claro.
is what I wanted to make
Sigamos con las
clear.
preguntas.
Let's continue with the questions.
Thank you. So Fong, you can go ahead, and then Jason.
Thank you, Grace. I do have a question regarding to the council members' positions. When you talk about the coordinators and all of their engagement kind of, and is there any requirement specifically for the council members to apply for? Yes, that's all. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone who wants to respond to that? I think it's in our terms of reference. So for one to be part of the coordinators team, you have to, let me just pull that up. You have to have served in the council for at least 1 year. That means that for you, all new members, to be able to be part of the care leaders coordinators team, that will be maybe probably next year at time like now. And the reason for this is because you will have been able to familiarize yourself with the council's objectives, and you'd be able to take part in the leadership. So yeah, definitely it's after a year, and then the members at once will be electing you. So there's a process whereby during the annual meeting, members will elect 3 coordinators to be able to take part in that leadership role. So all this is clearly stated in the terms of reference. I just didn't want to go through it, but maybe in our next future meetings, we'll be able to speak in details on the specific bits of the terms of reference. Yeah. Is that clear for you? Okay, okay. Yeah. So we go to Jason. You said you had a question.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Firstly, I think we would also need assistance in terms of policy formulation, as we also intend to engage a couple of ministries like the Ministry of Youth and the Ministry of Child Development, so that they come through for the care experienced people. But mainly, I wanted to ask, concerning the vision, when we say we want to amplify the rights of care experienced people and children who don't have alternative, children who are living in facilities, do we have a global charter that defines these rights, or these are subject to maybe the constitution in our different countries? Because I think it would be more effective for us as we are engaging in this advocacy to know exactly what we are advocating for, to know exactly what we mean when we say the rights of care experienced young people, and when we know exactly what we are trying to amplify. So I want to know if these differ from country to country, or there is something global that we are looking at here.
Thank you, Jason, for that question. Ruth, do you want to respond to that? Ruth, Michael, Nilam.
No, we do not have a charter. I'm assuming it's either a care leavers charter. We are welcome to form one, But of course, when we talk about some of the issues around care experience people, there are different ways to look at it from a human rights angle, and so we can refer to the right mechanisms internationally and regionally, but specifically for caregivers, we do not. And if you remember my point that we can design the house how we want to, this is a beginning for us to have a global caregivers charter. I hope that responds to your question, Jason.
And maybe to add on to that, Ruth, also on other different nationalities.
Sí, yo,
Yes, Michael.
Grace,
Yes, Michael.
es importante,
Grace, it's important
hablar
to
sobre los antecedentes
talk
del
about
grupo de trabajo de transición
the
también.
transition
Digamos
group
que eso
background
es
because
un grupo que nos va a permitir poder generar este documento.
to
¿Sí?
generate a
Como
document
tener
as such,
una
to
carta magna
have
de los derechos del cuidado,
a
por un
leading
ejemplo, ¿sí?
letter
Y
on
que esa
the
carta surja
care
precisamente
rights,
del Consejo de
and
Líderes Globales,
that letter
donde
might
propongamos
start
cuáles
at
son
the council
esas,
level. Let's
podría decirse,
propose,
directrices o
we
cosas
can
que se deben
say,
tener en cuenta
the
para trabajar con las personas que
the
dejan el
topics
cuidado.
that might be
Yo
added
creo
there,
que
and talk
el
and
órgano de
include
transición, que también es un
the
grupo que
key
existe,
points.
ya desde ahí
And
se ha
I
trabajado
believe
bastante en temas de
that
investigación, de recopilar voces a nivel global
from the
sobre los
body, the
avances
existing
en
body,
legislación
they
en
have
cada uno
worked
de
at
los
a
países. Creo que
global
aquí hay
level.
personas que
I
han
believe that
participado en ese grupo
here
de transición,
in this council we have
y
people
eso
that
puede
have
servir
worked
de
in the
base para
transition
construir
team.
ese
That could be
documento del
basis
que
to develop a
pregunta Jason.
document that Jason
Así
just
que
mentioned.
eso, por ejemplo, es una de
For
las tareas
example,
que
that is one
tenemos
of the
aquí
tasks
con
that
ustedes
we
como nuevos miembros. Un reto.
we have for you, for the new members. That's a challenge for the new members.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael, for that. In addition to that, I wanted to say that on other country level, we have existing policy, aftercare policies that speaks into care leavers. So this is not on a global level, but on a nation level. So those policies do exist, and maybe as a council would be for us to support what Jason said, to create a global charter. So it can be informed by the existing local aftercare policies or any other supporting documents that speaks into care leavers matters in different nations. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. I see Kirilo has his hand up. Please go ahead.
Yes, дякую. Я хотів би запитатися,
thank
чи
you. I have
є
a question.
дорожня карта або чек-лист,
And do you have this
що
roadmap
потрібно
or
робити
checklist?
учаснику ради для
What
ради,
the member of the council
бо
need to do for the
особисто я
council?
багато працюю в
Because I
Україні над
have worked
адвокацією, над
a
реформою,
lot in Ukraine
щоб
on advocacy,
розуміти, що я маю робити саме
and I
конкретно
want to
для
know the
ради,
concrete things
чіткі
that I need to
якісь
do for the
пункти,
purpose of
бо все, що, в принципі,
council.
перелічено в тому документі,
Because
я
everything
більшість з того працюю над цим.
that was
От,
mentioned in the previous
це
mentioned document, I have
перше.
actually
Друге, хотів би
worked on
спитати,
that.
чи буде
And I also
допомога
want to ask
в,
you,
можливо, написанні звіту,
whenever
чи
there
як
will be
для
help
ради,
with
щоб
writing
розуміти,
reports,
що саме в звіті треба
to
відображувати.
understand what
Знову ж
should be
таки,
actually written in this report.
цікавлюся з тим, що багато
And I'm
працюю в
interested in
Україні,
that
щоб
because
розуміти,
I
які
worked
ключові моменти
a lot
треба
in
для
Ukraine.
звітності. От, це перше.
And
Ну, перше,
I want
яке
to support
доповнює
in
друге.
writing these
От,
reports.
і хотів би також
I
дізнатися,
also want
чи
to
фінансові дані, які
learn
надсилали для того, щоб отримати там стипендію і
about whenever
компенсацію за витрати на зв'язок, заповнені мною
the
правильно.
any
От, бо
financial
там
data was sent
декілька разів
to get
форма
this
надсилається,
recompensation for
я вже заповнив, а вона
education
мені
or for
постійно
purposes
ще
of
надсилається для того, щоб я ще раз заповнив.
communication.
Як з'ясувати цей момент, чи всі
And
дані
how also I
мною,
can
які вам
understand
потрібні, отримані?
some points about this data.
Thank you so much, Kirilo, for your question. I don't know who'd want to respond to that. Personally, from my end, I wasn't able to follow the question clearly. Was it regarding to if we have an existing work plan on advocacy? I didn't get it quite clearly from him.
Maybe Kirilo, you can clarify your question.
Я хотів би, чи буде для кожного
course.
учасника
I want to know
список
whenever
конкретних
every member
задач,
will
які
have
потрібно
the
виконувати в
list
ролі,
of things that
щоб
we need to
бути, щоб
work on
Рада діяла.
To make the council work.
Okay.
I think he's asking for the tasks and the roles. When are we going to assign those to each of the new members? That's what he's asking for. And he's saying that he has done a lot of work on advocacy in Ukraine. So I think he's great with that.
You want to respond to that, Neela?
Yeah, I think this is what we were thinking to do. We have our, I think we would have our another meeting in the month of December. And we can talk about assigning tasks and roles to each members then. But by then we can just identify the strengths of each member, and then we can assign the tasks to each of the members on the basis of that. Yeah. And yeah.
Sí, ahí quiero complementar algo, y es que
I just
de
want to
acuerdo a
add
lo que
something
presentó Grace,
regarding to what
¿sí?
Grace presented,
En cuáles son las responsabilidades
which are the
de acuerdo a los
responsibilities
comités que se van a
regarding
crear por
to
área,
the
¿sí?
committees that will be created by
Ahí tenemos
area.
que darnos cuenta cuáles son las
We
capacidades
must
que cada
realize
uno tiene
the
para poder
capacities of each
asignar a
one
sí mismo
to be able to
esas actividades.
assign
Si uno tiene, por ejemplo, capacidad en
each
gestión de
activities.
recursos, va
If one
al
is
comité de
strong point is
engagement o gestión de recursos. Si otro tiene
developing
capacidad
activities,
en
then
construir
it will
estrategias,
be
va a esa. De
on
comunicación, va al
resources.
área de
One
comunicación.
is
Entonces,
strong point is
después de esta
communication, and the
reunión y de
other
ir
one.
identificando
So
todo,
after
de
the
acuerdo a lo que
meeting,
dijo Nilan,
we could
en la próxima
identify regarding
reunión
to
ese
what
espacio va
Nilan
a ser
said. The following
concretamente para
meeting will
hablar
be
de
specifically to talk
estrategias
about
y cuáles son
strategies
las responsabilidades y actividades con las
and
cuales cada uno
responsibilities
se
and the
va para
activities
ir,
in which
para
each
poder
one
lograr sacar adelante
will
esas
be
actividades para
able to
2025.
develop through
Si
2025.
respondimos a tu pregunta, Kirilo, haznos
Kirilo,
una
did we
seña,
answer
por
your
favor.
question? Let us know.
Так, є щодо третього
Yes,
питання, чи
thank you.
всі
Chris, could I come in?
Sure. Please.
Yeah, please permit me take us back to Jason's question. He was talking about if we have a draft charter, maybe some universal draft charter. Yeah, I would like to begin by saying that we should look at this council also as a platform where you're open to resources, but also to networks. And it's on this count that I would like to say at the regional level in Africa, ACNA has a draft charter for advocacy. ACNA has that draft charter, which, like you said, it could be an ideal starting point to work from that to see if we can have some universal charter. So I was actually hoping Ruth would mention that. I'm surprised she didn't, but ACNA has a draft charter, and it could be a good starting point. You're quite welcome, to have that charter to look at it. So, I mean, I just had to share that.
Thank you, Elvis. I sometimes try to be cautious not to mix up things, but thank you for flagging that. And Jason, you're welcome to also join us and be part of ACNA. Just that I didn't want to steal the show. Sorry, but thanks, Elvis and Grace.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I see Tatiana has her hand up. You can go ahead, please.
Sí, siguiendo la consulta del compañero, como
Following
estaban
up
mencionando, hay algunos documentos
the
que son
question from our
regionales, elaborados por
colleague,
grupo de
some are
personas que
regional
tienen
to a
experiencia y
group
que
of
ya son
people
activistas
that
en
might have
territorio, y también de
experience
apoyo hay
with
documentación
advocating
también de la
within their
ONU,
region, and some
la
have
Red Latinoamericana
an UN
de
background and
Egresados de
some
Protección, participamos
some
en
have,
un día del debate
and
general,
we as
entonces pienso que eso también lo podemos como utilizar de base
we can
y
use that
además
knowledge as basis
los documentos que
besides
estén
the
elaborados en los
documents that
distintos
have
territorios
been
y
prepared in the
regiones
different
para armar un
regions
documento global.
in
Y sí, muy
order to
importante que en
prepare
estas
a global
discusiones
document.
podamos incorporar
It's
a
important
personas
for us to
que
add
no forman
people
parte de este
that are
espacio,
not
pero
part
que
of
están haciendo cosas
this
muy
space,
importantes.
but are
Hace poco
working
conocí
on
un
important things.
egresado
I
que él
met
es
recently a
investigador en
young
Alemania
that
y
was
pienso que
part
hay
of the
muchas
system,
personas que
and he
podrían
was a researcher
aportar
in
en
Germany.
estos
So
procesos
I know
y
there
en
are a
cómo
lot of
también
people that
empezar
can
a
provide
trabajar y hacer
important input,
alianzas con
and
otras
we can
personas
partner
para
with
que
them
justamente
and
continúe creciendo este
for
espacio
this space to
y como
just
ustedes
grow.
están haciendo ahora
And
de este
as
trabajo de
you're doing
transición,
now,
nosotros
this
también el día de
transition,
mañana lo
we
hagamos con otras
might
personas. Por otra
do
parte,
this
tenía una
transition with others
consulta
as well. I have a
relacionada a la
question
demanda de
relating
tiempo que es la
to
participación
the timing that
en
is
este espacio y si tienen, por
requested
ejemplo,
for
una
this space,
frecuencia de
and if you
reuniones,
have
teniendo en
like
cuenta que, bueno, que
a
muchos
schedule
de
for
nosotros
meetings,
tenemos además
thinking
otros
about
espacios de
having in mind that
participación,
we
de
are participating in
representación,
other
trabajo
councils and we're
y
working in other
actividades
things and in other activities,
cotidianas,
and we
sea
have
maternidad,
day-to-day
trabajo,
activities.
universidad.
We attend
Sí,
college and we
Gracias.
also have different activities. So I have
eh,
a question regarding if you have
gracias,
scheduled
Tatiana.
meetings.
Acabas de tocar un punto
Thank you,
importante
Tatiana. You just mentioned
y eso
something
hace
very
parte del
important,
consejo
and that is part of
del comité asesor.
the
¿Sí? Y el comité asesor fue un tema que discutimos en
assessment
Nairobi
committee,
también,
what we discussed in
sobre esas
Nairobi
personas
regarding
que
those
aunque no
people
hacen parte del
that
consejo
even
directamente,
though
pueden
are not
aportar
part of
desde
the
su
council, they
conocimiento,
can
en este caso
provide
habla de la
feedback
persona de
from
investigación.
their
Así
knowledge.
que ese es otro
And
comité
that is
en
another
el cual, por
committee,
ejemplo, hace
research
parte
committee,
USAID, ¿sí?
in which,
Que nos
for example,
ayuda en
USAID
el
is part
tema
of.
de
USAID
conectar
is
con
helps us
cooperantes,
to connect
otros
with other
aliados
donors and
fuertes que
other
nos
partners,
permitan poder
and
cumplir la misión y
groups
visión
that
del
will help
Consejo.
us to
Frente a
grow
los
as a
tiempos,
council.
bueno,
Regarding the timing and
segundo, frente a
the
los
meetings,
documentos, gracias por nombrarlo de la red latinoamericana.
thank you for
No lo había
mentioning
nombrado, se me estaba
the
pasando.
Latin
Y
American
sobre
network.
todo,
I
digamos,
forgot
los
to mention
documentos
that,
que se han
and
construido
mostly
ahí,
the
que también
documents
pueden
that
servir de
are there
referente
and they can
para
help
que
us
desde el
reference,
Consejo lo revisemos y
and us
recopilemos un
from the
documento
council, we can mention that,
donde
and we
hagamos
can
una
collect a
recomendación
document where we
de
can
manera
make a
global.
recommendation at a
El
global
tercer
level.
punto, frente
The
a los
third
tiempos,
point regarding
nosotros
the
hemos venido
meetings,
reuniéndonos
we've been
en
meeting
una temporalidad de trimestral,
every
¿sí?
3
O cada 2
months,
meses o cada 3 meses,
every other
¿sí?
month,
Eso
or
depende
every
de
3
la
months,
urgencia de
depending
los
on
puntos
the
a tratar.
urgency
Entonces,
of
por
the
ejemplo,
points that we
hoy
have to
estamos aquí,
discuss.
pero dijimos,
For example,
Milan
today,
dijo que
we're
nos vamos a reunir
here.
en diciembre,
Nilan said that we were
¿sí?
going to
Entonces,
gather again in December.
dentro de 2 meses nos volvemos
In
a
2
ver para
months,
hablar
we will
concretamente
meet
de
again
cuál
to
es el
talk
plan y las
specifically
actividades
about the
que vamos a
plan and
proyectar
the
a
activities
2025.
that
Entonces,
will be
con
projecting in
tiempo,
2025.
de
So
parte de la coordinación y
from the
en conjunto con
coordination
Flores,
team
nos vamos a
and
encargar de
along with
mandar
Florence, we will
cuál va a ser la agenda, cuáles
share
van a
with
ser
all
los
of you the
tiempos, ¿sí?
agenda
Para que
and
ustedes se organicen y
the
puedan separar
calendar
ese
and the
día que es
timing for you to
importante,
for you to
¿sí?
be
Si
able to
respondí a tu
organize your
pregunta,
timing. Did I answer your question?
sí, bien querida,
Sí,
gracias.
muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for responding to that. And in addition to the meetings, you might also have in between meetings with the subcommittees just to work on tasks. But that is based on, the assigned roles, and you as a subcommittee can agree maybe to meet once in a month to be able to accomplish a certain task that you were assigned to. Yeah. So I don't know if we have any other question. See, we are remaining with, I think, around 12 minutes. Is there any other burning question from any of us?
Я хотів би Та спитати,
Кирило.
чи
I would
прийняті
like to
моя
ask
фінансова форма,
whether my
яку ми
financial
заповнювали
form
для
was
отримання стипендій та
approved,
компенсації за
that I have
зв'язок.
mentioned about the recompensation for the connection.
Okay, I'll let Margot or Florence speak into that and maybe address to all who might have a similar question. Margot and Florence.
Margot, do you want to give an update on that? All of the payments are in process. Some of them have already been processed. So it depends on whether you filled in the forms correctly. We know it's really complicated. Margot's been working with you individually on solving this, but they are required. You know, we cannot make a payment without having those forms properly filled. The good news is once they're filled and you're in the system, you know, following payments will be a lot easier when the second payment, you know, at the end of this year will come. But just so you know, this is challenging. So we can check with you individually and confirm, but we know that there've been a few that have been held up because the forms were not filled properly. So we really need you to focus on that and get them right. And we're here to help you. Margot, anything else to add?
Yeah, so the one thing that I wanted to mention is that when they process the payments, they do them in batches. So they don't process it necessarily just one at a time. So your payments are done in batches. So you, most of your payments, everyone whose paperwork was in and done, your payments will be processed with the next batch. So I'm very hesitant to give you an exact date, but yep. Sorry.
У мене просто постійно приходить заповніть форму, а я вже її заповнив. Тому я цікавлюся, чи прийнята моя форма в опрацювання.
That's why I'm asking whether it's already processed.
Yes, I completely understand that email can be confusing. And so when you see that email, what they're actually asking you is to give new information or missing information. So in your case, Cirillo, you're fine. Your information has been processed. So thank you for following up. But you are good. So thank you.
And if you're still missing information or we're saying we will be in touch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so we have 10 minutes remaining. Nilam will come in with the final on the next steps. But I saw Jason, you had a final question. If you can make it brief kindly. Yeah.
I think it's fine. It was similar to what the previous person had just asked, you know, concerning I was wondering as well whether I was on the right track or not. Yes, I had received that message before and it kept on popping up, but we did everything that was required and then we stopped receiving and then it just went quiet. So I was like, are we good? But I think with our explanation, we should be good.
Yes, those emails they look similar. They look like it's the same email, but actually those emails actually are asking for either new information or they're telling you something is missing, except the part of the email that is telling you what is missing is buried. It's lower in the email. So I've given that feedback actually to our finance department to somehow indicate that this is a newer email. It's a new email asking you for something new. But Jason, likewise, same with you. We've received everything from you. So now yours is just being processed. And so again, I can't give you exact date, but we don't need anything else from you either. So yours is in the system right now and being processed.
Thank you. So, Fong, I see you say you have a point to raise. Kindly, if you can do it in the chat box, as I invite Nilam to take us through the next steps.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, everyone. I just want to add that thank you all for your valuable contributions today. And as we wrap up this session, I want to extend a warm welcome to our new members again. And all existing members and BCN, we all are thrilled to have you on board and look forward to your insights and energy in our coming discussions moving forward. And looking ahead, as I mentioned earlier, and Michael also added and Grace also added to it, we are tentatively going to have our next meeting in December. However, between now and then, we have some important work to do together. Our key task will be to draft a work plan that outlines our priorities for the upcoming year. And this will involve like identifying specific areas we want to focus on and clearly defining our working principles to guide us in our efforts. Like we will be kind of working on really important plans and kind of formulating what we need to work in the upcoming year. Additionally, we will start developing some essential policies that will help us achieve our goals. And I encourage everyone to think about how you can contribute to these discussions as we move forward. And like Michael mentioned that, I mean, Grace has already outlined the responsibilities, the roles and responsibilities when she was taking you through the TOR. And we can assign the responsibilities to each of the members as per their strengths and the experience that they have. I think this is what we mentioned, right, Grace? This is what was highlighted by Michael earlier. So this is how we are going to move forward, and this is how we will be assigning roles and tasks to each of the new members going forward. And for the meetings, we would have, I think we would be sending out an email to each one of you with the dates. And of course, that would also have your time zone so that you do not get confused. So you all can just let us know when you all are available, and then we can just come up and finalize one date which is right for everyone. And also, I wanted to bring up another point. We all members have a WhatsApp group, and I would like to add each one of you to that group. So I just wanted to take your consent. If you're okay with it, I will just go ahead and add you all to that group. That's a collaborative, like we all just collaborate on that platform, and we just, send out messages if we have any updates, if we have any questions, if you want to answer to something, anything, like you can just ask anything regarding to the committee or like whatever we are doing here. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was all from my end. I think we finished exactly on time. We still have 4 minutes. If somebody has any questions or anything, or would like to mention something, you're most welcome. We have kind of 4 more
Gracias. Yo
minutes.
quiero antes de eso, con el permiso de
Well,
ustedes,
before
y
that,
esto
with
hace
your
parte,
permission,
hizo falta una cosa, pero
there
que
was still
la
missing
vamos
a
a mandar,
thing
y es
that
la identidad del consejo. Ya
I want to
tenemos una
send, and this
identidad,
identity
¿sí?
of the council. We already have
Que
it,
es el logo y
and
todo,
we
muy
already have a
estructurado, que queremos
logo
que lo
and
miren
everything that
y
we have
también den su
structured,
opinión,
and we
pero
want to share it with you. We want also your
queremos
opinion,
también construir
but
las
we
redes,
also want to
el
build the
Instagram,
networks.
la página
And,
web. Por ahora
and what
tenemos un
about the
sitio en
networks?
la
What do I
página de
mean with it? The
Better Care
social
Network,
media.
pero
I made an
necesitamos nuestro propio
Instagram,
sitio.
all our
Así que
social media,
estamos
but
en
we
esa
still need
transición.
our
Y por eso
website.
necesitamos
And
más
that's
registros.
why
Ya tenemos
we
muchos
need
registros
more
que son importantes
data.
para
We
alimentar las
already have
redes,
a lot of
que
data
ustedes
to
saben que las redes son
feed
fundamentales
our
para
social
difundir el
media, but you
mensaje.
know that
Así
information
que
is essential.
si ustedes permiten poder tomar
So
una foto de este espacio, un
maybe we
pantallazo,
can
porque este es un
take a
momento pues
screenshot
muy
because
importante y pues
this
tienen que
moment
quedar
is
ahí
important This is a
invito a que prendan
milestone
las
for all of
cámaras
us,
y
and
alguien que sepa
we
cómo
should
tomar
turn
pantalla
on
me
our
ayuda, por
cameras,
favor.
and that person who
Entonces,
knows how to
nos
take the
dice cuando ya se ríen y
screenshot,
nos
please
tomamos
help
la
me.
foto.
So you can take it and you can say you
Tenía
are
la mano
ready to
levantada. ¿Quién
smile
de
all
Better Canyon?
together.
Florence,
I see Florence has raised her
¿ibas a hablar?
hand. Florence, do you want to say something?
That's okay, Michael, that's okay. It was just more about the communication platform, but we can talk about it by email. That's absolutely fine. Please go ahead. I have no idea how to take a screenshot, so I'm relying on you guys.
I can do it. I can take it. I can take a.
I can do it as well.
Oh, good. Oh, yes, we've got people who can do things.
Florence, déjate ver,
Florence,
porfa,
Florence,
Florence.
please turn on your camera.
Dejes
We
estar
need to
en la
see you.
historia de esta
Okay,
foto.
we're here. Thank you. Is everybody here? I'm not sure everybody's on the screen.
Yeah, I think most of us are in the screen. Yeah.
Sí.
3, 2,
1.
1.
Margot, ¿nos dices?
Margot,
I
tell
got
us
one.
when we are ready or it's done.
1, 3, 2, 1. We did it. And someone else, I think that was Fong.
Gracias. Gracias por estar.
Thank
Gracias
you.
por
Oh,
aceptar
Fong's
la
got great
invitación.
skills. I'm so excited, Fong. I'm sure
Ya
you've got
eran
lots
tus
to bring
palabras.
to the table. Great.
Y es emocionante para
It's
nosotros
exciting for
poder
all
contar
of
con la
us
primera reunión del
to
consejo y
have
lo que
this
viene
first
son
meeting of
retos
the
y
council and
desafíos, pero
what
estos
comes
retos son emocionantes
challenges, but
porque
it's
por una
exciting
parte nos van a
because
permitir
on one
medir
side it will allow us to
esa capacidad de
measure
liderazgo que
the
tenemos
leadership
regionalmente y
capacity
cómo lo
that we
podemos
have in
elevar
the
a nivel
different
global
regions and how we
para
can
poder enfrentar estos
upscale
retos y
them
desafíos
in
que
order
tenemos
to address
en cada
more
uno de nuestros
challenges
países.
we
Así
have in
que
our own
un
countries.
abrazo,
So I
somos
send
una
you
gran
my warm
familia,
hugs. We are
vamos a
now a big
aprovechar todo este
family
consejo,
and we
vamos a
are going to
aprovechar a los
seize
asesores que tenemos
this
y un
council
gran
with all
abrazo.
of you
Que estén
and
muy bien todos.
my warmest regards for all of you.
Chao.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.